Had a good time, did you?
You going to get me out of here?
I ain't decided yet.
Real funny.
Oh, I ain't joking, cowpoke. I heard so much bluster out of your mouth these last 6 months, and now I got an opportunity to watch you be silenced.
Well, you gotta do something.
Why?
I always looked up to you, Arthur.
Well, that's your first mistake.
Ooh, yay! How are we gonna get out of this one, Arthur? Oh, tarnations!
All right, gamers, guys and gals, let's get into it. So we're looking at the first reason out of the 10 here, photo mode. The photo mode is obviously in many different games, but oh my god, is it even cooler in Red Dead Redemption 2 and the way to take advantage of things. I mean, the world is so expansive and beautiful, and the characters smiling and frowning, and so many cool moments you can just tap into and snap cool shots and just play around, and it's amazing. I mean, any game that's got a cool photo mode is just amazing in my book. We've seen it in Spider-Man and different games like that, but at Red Dead Redemption 2, like, it really just pops and just even brings more life to the game. I mean, you can freeze frame it like right there and just snap as many shots as you want. I got some really cool ones where, like, I rode my horse into somebody else's and got like the whole collision in the picture, and it's just pretty wild what you can do. I think that's another reason, like, I can't stop playing this game. You know, I beat it this week, but you know, there's so many different reasons to come back, and I feel like this is one of the major reasons, not only that makes the game as good as it is, but just keeps you coming back for more. And there's so many towns and cities and interactions you can snap photos of, and you know, you can either upload them to the Rockstar social pages, or you know, just save them for yourself, you know, put them on Twitter and just keep memories you have of the game going. And it also highlights just the beauty of the game. I mean, this game is so beautiful, you know, from the skies and the landscapes. And you know, I played it on Xbox One X. It's out on PC now, so I'm sure you can, you know, take those sliders on PC and just ramp them up to ultra and really get some crisp images, and I'm sure everything is insane. But next reason coming up here we have is the beautiful world itself. You know, that kind of goes into what I've just been saying. The world in Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, a lot of people say, oh, the GTA 5 is better because it's more alive, more people bustling around, but the beauty of the landscapes in this game are just breathtaking, and it really just sucks you into the aura of the story and what's going on with the peaks and valleys and waterfalls and just different vistas. I mean, you can just ride around this game for hours just in awe, you know. Especially, like, one of my favorite things is when a storm comes through and those lightning bolts are flying down and the wind is blowing. And I gotta say, even on Xbox One X, you know, it's not PC, but it runs incredibly well. I mean, I don't really get any frame stutters, you know, here and there, like with some smoke effects and stuff, but it's so beautiful. You know, there's a lot of different things that, you know, I've done in this game as far as like in stories and different heists and stuff. And the environment just magnifies the fun I'm having times 10, because these just like cinematic storylines they build are just wild to me. And the detail and everything is just insane. And you know, the railroad tracks with the trains going by and all the different people you can meet and the things you can do. The world is just living and breathing. And yeah, it's a lot of open space, but that was the Wild Wild West, and this captures that, you know, perfectly. There's not much else to really compare to. I mean, Rockstar is Rockstar, and they are the flagship for open world, you know, cinematic experiences, but I think this dials it up to 11. It's insane. And next reason we got for you folks, character depth. This is huge because, you know, you start out the game playing as Arthur, and as you move through the chapters, you meet more and more of the men and women that are in your, you know, outlaw family. And it's not just little peeks into their lives here and there. You know, there's honor missions and things like that. You learn their motivations, why they're doing what they're doing, you know, their experiences in the past. You know, there's history on all these characters. we just saw Micah there behind bars because that's just Micah. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but he ends up being one of the more focal characters. But it's pretty amazing. And the next reason, good and bad choices in the game. Just like Grand Theft Auto, you can rack up a bounty, as quickly as you want, be as evil as you want, as good as you want. And the reputation system is cool. I love the fact that, I went through over 100 hours of this game doing as many honorable things as I could. Yeah, do you have to kill some people here and there that you don't want to? Sure. But it's pretty forgiving if you want to go one way or the other. But, one of the things I'm looking forward to is now that I've beaten the game, I'm just going to throw up the handkerchief and go rob some banks and do some things like that and place the missions a little bit differently and go from there. But you can do some really crazy stuff. Next reason. Comedy and drama. This game has the ability to weave the narrative better than anything I've ever played. One minute you're about to cry because of something you've witnessed, and the next minute you're just laughing your butt off. I mean, it's wild. There's so much comedy in the game. It's like they just really wanted to keep the narrative going, but keep good balance. It tugs at the heartstrings for sure, but there's also times you're just laughing and laughing and laughing. You might find out that somebody's no longer with you, and then the next minute you're somebody's walking through the streets of a town next to you, taking a dump, asking you for money. And it just catches everything in such a nuanced way. I mean, you'll get off your horse, and all of a sudden your horse starts relieving itself, and there's piles of doo-doo on the ground. It's just crazy. Next reason. It feels like a family. I mean, the characters in this game are all just brought together, and they're a merry bunch of outlaws in such a just family orientated way, to the point where you feel like these people are your family. They're not just a group of people looking to make money or screw people over. They're just bound together. You can feel the loyalty they have for each other, and it's wild. I haven't really had that sense in many other games, where you just feel the passion each one of these characters has for each other. Dutch, Arthur, Charles. It's and my favorite character in the game is Sadie Adler. I'm not going to spoil anything, but she's a firecracker, man. And you feel when these characters deliver their lines, it's like a movie. You feel the grit, the sadness, the happiness. It's not just robotic voiceover work. And next we have impactful story. That kind of goes hand in hand with the family feeling of the characters and character depth. I do admit the game's a little slow going in the beginning, but once you get to hour 5 or 6 and things are kind of moving, and you have more of an understanding of the reasoning behind the characters' actions and what's going on, it's a wild ride. And it feels just like a novel that was written. I mean, the storytelling and the way it's told and the pace and the chapters is amazing. It's epic. It's like a epic telltale, that somebody penned years ago. That's a classic they tell you to read in school. I mean, it's that good. And the motivations and what's happening and the time period and kind of how it's on the verge of Wild Wild West kind of coming to an end, and Outlaws not being a reality is crazy. Next reason. Replayability. I already kind of touched on this a little bit, but the fact that you can go back, as you can see here in the story, and just play any mission you want once you complete it to try to get gold medals and different things is awesome. And you can just go in, pick whatever chapter you want, hop on there, enjoy the experience, try to get a better score than you did before, and it's great. The world does open up at the end, so you can kind of ride around, but it's more so like digging in the chapters. Next reason. Side activities. This is probably, I don't know, not my favorite thing, but one of my most favorite things. As you roam through the world throughout your adventures in this game, you'll see question marks on the map. And if you ride up to them or walk up to them, it'll just put you down these epic adventures. You meet these characters that are either scientists or somebody looking for some old gunslingers or whatever it is, and the storylines in these stranger missions are just as good as the main story itself, if not better. And some of the comedy you get from these is amazing. Next reason. You know, you have the strangers, like I said. It's crazy. You know, not only with the fishing and hunting and other side activities, but like I said, the strangers themselves are awesome. And you meet some crazy characters that just kind of blow your mind and really make the game full-fledged. And the stranger missions aren't just one mission. They are broken up into chapters, and they just kind of keep moving along with the pace of the game itself. So as you move from chapter to chapter, they'll open up new missions for you, and it's just crazy. It's wild what happens. And I like the stranger missions because they break up the feeling of the main story. It gives you something to do on a side quest, whether you're doing some activities like fishing or hunting, and then you just seem to always run into a stranger here and there that just get the ball rolling and make the game that much more fledged out and fun. And you know, if you're getting kind of annoyed by one of the characters in your camp, or you want to get away from that, it's something else to do, and it really kind of brings the game to a full scope of an epic tale. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the vid.